Hello everyone, welcome to Tester. So today we're going to be testing the new cages that's been added in the Wasteland Workshop DLC. So I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of capturing a few enemies. In here we have a gunner cage. It was actually the cheapest cage to make. It only cost bottle caps. I have a raider cage, second cheapest cage, only requires jet. And these are super mutant cages. I believe they cost Brahmin meat. And so what we're here today to find out is how do you make a fun house? Because, you know, the trailer, it went on ahead and showed settlers fighting settlers and Preston fighting the Deathclaw, whatever. But then it also showed raiders going into, I guess, like fun house traps and stuff like that. So first I want to talk about my setup. Everybody might notice I have these counters here, oversized Nixie tubes. They were added in the DLC as well. And, you know, they have counters or whatever. I'm not really sure what they're for. I think they're just decoration. The reason I've been using them is because you have to keep power to the cage in order to be able to move it around and keep the raider inside. Because as you can see, the gunner guy, he can't get out of there. So what I do is I'll attach this to the cage and then this to the switch, and then if I have to move the switch, or like in later tests that you'll see a bit later, I had to move the power source and a bunch of stuff to get everything to work. This just lets me know that the cage is still powered, so that way he won't get out. And I mean, it's not a big deal if he gets out, but you know, you don't want to have to be capturing him again. Okay, so one thing that I can go on ahead and tell everyone is that the cages, it doesn't matter where they're placed. You can place them in your dungeons, you can place them in the doom zone, you can place them wherever you want. As long as it has power, it has a chance of capturing something no matter where it is. One time I had one like completely encased in a box. You might have seen it in one of my previews. But we still captured someone, which is awesome. So that means that when you get your funhouse set up, you can just leave the cages, and then when they're all full up, you let them loose and enjoy the action. Okay, so what this is, it's going to be a series of tests where we find out what happens when you let them out of the cage. I kind of already know because I ran these tests already, but I felt it imperative to go on ahead and share it with everyone because I'm sure everyone else is going to want to try to make a little fun house too. The first cage I'm going to open is the gunner cage. What I've done is set up just a single trap. These tests aren't really for how to kill them. I know how to kill them, but I want to know what happens is if I let him loose and there's just an open doorway there. So we're going to go ahead and let out the gunner. And you see he's out, but he isn't going to go anywhere. And then if I come around and get myself spotted, like I'm going to go stand in the doorway. And what does he do? He just tries to shoot me. And then if I run away, he'll still just try to shoot me. So I didn't like that. It doesn't work with the fun house, just for the simple fact that because of him not coming chase me, he won't come into the trap. So just sit there and try to shoot me. But I kind of understood it a little more as the test went on, and the verdicts will be a little more conclusive towards the end of it. So the next test will be a raider. Okay, the next test is with a raider, and what it is that he's in a completely confined space. So what I wanted to know is that what would he do if I just left him in there? And pretty much he's not gonna do anything.
This is gonna be fun.
Like, he sees me through the roof. The roof honestly doesn't matter. You don't have to have the roof. But you see, he sees me. But that's only because he sees me, and then all he does is going to shoot me. He's not going to chase me. And we'll understand that a little bit better. So for the next test, what I want to do is I'm going to put two enemies together, because I've already found out from previous tests that there's no foe to foe conflict. I know that didn't sound right, so I'm just gonna say it as it is. Gunners don't like raiders, and they don't like super mutants, so they will fight. But a gunner and a gunner will hang out, and a raider will hang out, and as I'm about to show you, 2 super mutants will hang out. Okay, so this is the super mutant test. A couple of things I want to point out. The enemies that you capture are relative to your level, but it's a dice roll, so it's randomized. Sometimes you might just get a raider, sometimes you might get a raider survivalist, depending on how high your level is. What that means is that sometimes you can catch super mutant overlords, and those guys come with miniguns and rocket launchers, so you're probably going to want to be careful when trapping super mutants. Okay, so we've let them out, and if you notice, they don't see me, so they're not going to do anything. We find out a work around this a little bit later, and there might even be better ones, but for now, this is kind of where I'm at. And then if we jump in, oh, they've seen us. And here they come. And if you notice, they're not fighting each other. They're trying to kill me, which is pretty cool. It kind of puts some interesting dynamics that we're going to see a little bit later. So the next series of tests will involve me trying to get the 3 of these guys, well, it's 4 guys, but the 3 factions to fight each other. But it was a bit strange. Okay, this is my first crude test at a mini funhouse. And basically the concept is to open both the cages, but then have one door closed, and then see what happens when I open the door. Fun note, these doors are really glitchy, and the settlers, they'll just try to walk through the walls. Well, they're not settlers, I'm sorry, but will just try to walk through the walls, which I thought was bullshit. But I think I found a way about that because of the way that the concrete kit is made. You can make these thin, narrow hallways to accentuate the door. Okay, so anyways, I think I've talked enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up the raider cage. And then we're going to open up the super mutant cage. Okay, so they're still, I don't want to alert them. I just want you to be able to see what they're doing, because they're still just sitting in their cages. Okay, well, he saw me. Okay. Yeah, look at that guy. He has a damn rocket launcher. Okay, so anyways, what we're gonna do now is try to get them to fight each other, and we're gonna do that by opening up that little door.
Come on, little girl. I'm gonna eat your legs when you're dead.
Okay, so I'm gonna run away, toggle free camera. Oh, sorry, getting bad at this. Okay, there they go. Here he goes. Here he goes. Oh man, he one-shot that guy. Damn. Well, that was actually a pretty good test. The raider wasted no time in getting himself wasted. And then look at these guys. They're going through, trying to find out what's going on. Pretty awesome. What's bad is that it's hard to be able to see this on consoles. You would have to toggle out to be able to see this, but I'm working on a way that you can see the action and be a part of it. So let's just keep going through the test. So this is the final test setup that I came up with before coming to a conclusive decision on this. What I've done is I've linked all the cages together, but then I've also put a room down here for myself. See, what I found out was that if I'm not in the building, then I'm not a part of the building, so they won't look as hard to find me. So what I had to do was I had to run all the power to one switch on the far end and move the power, as you can see. So the little Nixie tubes, they came in real good handy. So, you know, if I made a mistake, I knew instantly and I could just reload.
What? Who's there?
Up, and I've been attacked apparently for holding those super mutants too long. Oh, and I've got no weapons. Okay, I'm gonna deal with this in just a second, and then we're gonna run the test. Okay, I just want to explain this door setup that I have going on here. So basically, all the traps are wired to this switch. So when I hit this switch, it should open every cage in the let's just call it a facility. This right here lets me open the door, so that way if I want to get inside there, if I want to just check it out, because there are no traps in here. That test is probably going to be a separate video, because I've noticed something about the traps and they're less than adequate. But, and this is kind of cool, okay? You can use your own defense turrets and put them on switches so that they activate at certain times in the battle, so that it just pops up. There's even delay switches and things like that. I got another video coming out on these power doors and, you know, cool stuff you can do with them. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the switch, but let me get down first. And it's what I thought it was. See, they don't know I'm here, which is annoying in a way, because it makes the funhouse a little harder to set up. So what I did is I put this wall panel right here. See, now the super mutants know I'm here. Oh, here comes the raiders. Oh, and the gunner to clean up, man.
Face me, you coward!
What you got, gunner? Oh, this is awesome. It works. The biggest problem I'm having, damn.
Go ahead and hide, little bleeder.
And then I'm getting shot in the room, so I don't know how great that is. But what I'm thinking about doing is, instead of using this wall panel, to use the power door, stand in front of the power door, and then close it off. Because as you can see, he can shoot me through the little chain link wall fence, which kind of sucks, but I guess I probably, and this is the real reason you install the door, so you can come in here and you can clean up your creations. Yeah, yeah. Listen to your master. This is fun. Okay, so I'm thinking that these tests are conclusive right now, because I really got to try to use the traps more. But like I was saying, or gushing about, I have one more test I'll show off. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, this is the final test, and it's not really anything special because of the way it's set up and because of the building. I learned a lot of things, namely about the way that the power has to be run in places like this. What I'm thinking about doing is raising the platform and then using a 1x1 concrete pillar to separate the floor away from the wall just a hair, so that way I have this narrow channel that I can run wires. But what I really want to show everybody are these laser trip wires. Yeah, man, they got a purpose now. I had to put the generator here just because of what I was just telling you about not being able to put the wires through the walls, and I could clip them through, and I've been thinking about clipping me a power conduit through. I could probably do that. That'd probably be easier. But anyways, it's the same setup. And how it's set up is that once they all go through this, it activates this, and it activates the turret. And then it was going to be another one here and here, but I just went on ahead and just wanted the test. Also, I made the room quite a bit longer. Before we run the test, I do want to say that Starlight Drive-In is my #1 arena spot, namely before what's underneath me, because in this game I didn't clean out the toxic waste barrels of the middle pool, so it literally will kill you if you stand there. But not these super mutants. It'll only kill human combatants, but super mutants lay waste to those guys. Jeez. It was like no work for these guys. Taking no damage. These things kind of suck. He took out this laser turret like instantly. Oh well. Back to the drawing boards. Well, for now, I'm gonna have to say these tests are conclusive. I still gotta work on the funhouse theory a little bit more, and probably try to figure out a better way to use these traps, because as you can see, this thing right here was useless. It literally did nothing. Now maybe if I had an entire room of them, oh yeah, now that's like some God of War type stuff. So let's just recap for everybody who just wanted to skip through, which is cool. I might even put an annotation for this. When you build your facilities, the captives won't do anything without you being in the facility. Or I haven't tried a settler yet, but maybe you can cage a settler in there. Hey, that might actually work. I'll try that off camera, because I need to get a settler in here. Actually, I'm gonna try that. Okay, so I want to talk about the setup, what's going on here. So if you guys recognize, this is the same room that we were in, but it has settlers in it now. So what we're gonna do, oh, and in case you guys didn't know, what you can do if you want to keep a settler somewhere, you can give him a bed and a job, and then he won't move. That works with stores too. I mean, he will wander around, but for the most part, he'll stay, especially if you're like watching them or you have him in like one of these areas. Those guys were failures, but they'll work for the test anyways. Okay, so I'm gonna go on ahead and hit the back and let's let out the gunner first and see what happens. I'm gonna go on ahead and toggle off and then just see if I can okay, so he's not going anywhere and the settlers are still hanging out. See, that's an issue. Alright, let me get back in and then I'll let out the raider and see what happens. Okay, and see how the Nixie tubes work. Oh man, the Nixie tubes really save me a lot of time. I don't have to second guess myself as much. Alright, so we've let the raider out and he isn't doing anything either. So when I let out the super mutants, I already know all hell's gonna break loose, which I'm fine with. So I'm guessing you're gonna have to initiate some type of engagement. I'm gonna have to do the super mutants the old-fashioned way because it's just from a previous test. Okay, let's hurry and check out the action.
Out there somewhere.
Oh, I've done the unthinkable. Well, how did the settler glitch through the wall? Oh man, this was a good one. Whoa, look at all this. Man, I failed. I'm gonna reload. Wow, the Raider one. Now that was a really fun one. And what it was is that these were just base level super mutants, so the turret was able to kill them. But I still think that it was a pretty good test. So I don't think putting settlers in it really matters so much. I honestly think that the action drew them out. So maybe what you need to do is like start it off by opening up a ghoul cage somewhere and letting the ghoul explode something, and then everyone there will hear it and try to converge on the ghoul cage and each go through its own battle. Well, it looks like these tests are pretty conclusive. So we've tested pretty much everything that I can think of. And honestly, I've come up with a really good picture on how the funhouse works. I'm really thinking I'm going to start it off with a ghoul. I'm going to open up his cage. He's going to run through something, and then it will open up everyone's cages and start the first level defenses. And then each person will fight through each level of theirs, and then the more they fight through, the closer they get. But what you're going to want to do is probably have yourself a second level, maybe with some balconies, and then probably some sneak in order to not be seen in it. But look at that, we summoned in a Gunner Major, man. Of course he was going to win the championships. So anyways, I want to see what you guys are doing as always. If anybody else out there has tried the funhouse thing, let me know. If anything simpler, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care.